Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. In today's tutorial I'm going to show you how to make these keychains from start to finish. I am designing in Cricut Design Space, but you don't need to have Cricut Design Space. The method is still the same no matter what die cutting machine you have. So let's go ahead and get started. So as you can see, I have a paintbrush stroke on my screen. Now this is from my paintbrush stroke set, which I will link below in the description if you're interested. And I'm going to be using this one today. So back in Design Space, the first thing you need to do is make a shape the same size as your keychain. So you go to Shapes, and in this case I'm going to do a hexagon. Now the standard size for acrylic blank keychains is 2 inches, so I'm going to change the width to 2 inches. Now I've designed this paintbrush stroke to fit within 2-inch rounds or hexagon shapes, so it should just fit perfectly and you don't need to resize. But if you're making your own shape and you want that to fit within your acrylic blank, you just need to resize as you see fit. So next I'm going to add the initial, so go up to text and I'm going to type in K. Now the font I like to use for the initial is a nice bold font, and I'm going to use Times. Times usually goes with a lot of nice script fonts, so we're just going to use that today. Now I'm going to put it on top of my hexagon and just resize until I am happy. And that looks good, so that is the K. Next I need to do the name, so back up to the text tool, and the name is Kate, so I'm going to type that in. And I'm going to use a font called Alicia. It's not a font that you can find on Design Space, so you will need to purchase it and then download it. I will leave a link to it in the description if you want to use the same font. So you'll notice that there are spacing between the letters, and to change that I'm going to go to letter spacing and click on the down arrow until I can get most of my letters to join. Now there's still a space between the A and the T, and so to fix that I'm going to right click and go to ungroup, and then I'm going to take the E and the T and join it to the K and the A. Then I select all of the letters and go to weld. Now I have one word that will be cut out continuously, and it's not going to be cutting out individual letters. Next, I'm just going to go up to change the color so you can see this a bit better. And I put it on top of the K and then resize it to make sure it fits nicely within the hexagon. This font cuts out really thin lines, so if you don't have much success with thin lines, I suggest you make the name as large as possible and not use a long name that's longer than 5 letters. You can use another font. Valentine Vibes is one that I like to use for keychains because the strokes on the letters are quite thick. So if you don't have a lot of success with this thin font, go for something like Valentine's Vibes, which is a thicker script. I'm happy with the placement of everything, so I'm going to go ahead and delete the hexagon shape as we don't need that any longer. Now it's up to you how you'd like to do this. A lot of people would like to layer the vinyl onto the acrylic blank on one side. But what I like to do is I like to put the paintbrush stroke on one side and the name on the other side. I think it just gives it a little bit more character, creates a little shadow behind the name, and it's quite nice. So if you want to do that, this is how I do it. I'll just move the names across. I'm going to click on the brush stroke layer and go to flip, and then flip horizontally. And now what that does is it mirrors the design, so when it cuts out it will be mirrored, and then when I stick it to the back of the acrylic blank it will be the right way up. I'm also going to be using Caesar vinyl for this one, which has colour on both sides. So just keep that in mind, not all permanent vinyls have got colour on both sides of the vinyl. Lastly, I'm going to make everything one colour so it cuts out on one mat, and click on Make It. I'm just going to move all the elements to different sides of the mat so I can add my vinyl, and that will allow me to cut all 3 colors on one mat, which will save a lot of time. And then I click continue. The best vinyl to use for keychains is permanent vinyl, so I'm going to go ahead and choose the premium vinyl setting in Design Space. I find this setting cuts the vinyl really, really well. And now I'll let the video roll so you can see how I put the keychain together. Just a quick note here, if you have trouble with your vinyl bubbling and air bubbles are being stuck underneath, and you can see them on the other side, I'll leave a link to a video that I did recently showing you how you can eliminate those bubbles using the wet method. So here are the completed keychains. I love the colors. I think they really look nice, and the black and the white just stand out so nicely on the front as well. I like to display the keyrings on a display card. It looks much nicer in the packaging, and I'll leave a link to the keyring display SVG card pack that I have in the description also. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this has inspired you to make your own keychains. I have lots of keychain videos on my channel if you want to go check those out, and I'll see you guys in the next video.